There it is. The swamp thing. Look at that. If I had any idea this was going on underneath what I was doing, I would have stopped and said, all right, start again. But I had no idea. I know what caused it. It's too thin. But I think it's pretty cool. Look at it. It's like it was on fire. It could be a survivor fire car thing. I don't bloody know. What? You can't recreate that. That's organic. It's a pain in the butt, but you know, is what it is. You gotta embrace these things. I'm not gonna throw it away. I'm gonna keep it exactly like that. As a reminder of don't do it again. It's time to build a 55 for a customer. It's going to be like a gasser style with fat wheels hanging out the back, jacked up, chrome bits, little zoomies. It's going to be awesome. So I've got the mold prepped, but it's all in pieces. I've never done it like this before, so I'm having a go. The reason why I'm doing it like this, I'll be able to get up under here, up under the overhangs. I now know that I can put multiple coats on within 20 minutes of each other instead of the next day, which is a big mistake. And get all up in here. And another problem area was this side part, because when it's bolted together there's like a wall here. You can't spray on that. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Spraying some gel coat with the wrong gun because I'm still waiting on the right gun to come. Let's do it. That's better. Just been doing a little bit of sanding on it on the seams. Needs a tiny bit of filler here and there, but it's way better than that. Now I'm gonna make a chassis. This one's gonna be a bit different from the one I made. It's behind that compressor over there. In regards to almost everything, it's gonna be very similar in some aspects, but very different in others. So I've got to figure this out, and you're coming along for the ride. Look at that. Looks tough. Customer wants these hanging out a little bit. He also wants this cut to follow the tyre, which is going to be fun. So that means it's going to come down a little bit. The front's going to come down a little bit. It's going to be a gasser style, so like it's launching. It's going to have little chrome zoomies coming out here, shifter hanging up, chrome steering wheel. It's going to be a wicked little car. Check that out. I'm glad I remembered I had that bender, because that looks much nicer than what I was trying to do before with the bit out here and then the large bit and then straight down. It's just, that's much nicer. Just have a little look around. The handle where you push this thing from is going to be underneath, so I'm going to have to put a plate from like here to here and use these 4 bolts from underneath, and then the socket for the push handle will come out. That'd be cool. So I'm going to work on the front end now as much as I can. So I'm going to make like a leaf spring hoop and then a drop axle. Well, it'll be a reverse drop axle, so raise it higher, because this thing's going to be jacked. It's going to look wicked. Also, these are the wheels I'm going to be using. That is a pram I got for nothing. So I've got to figure out how to take these wheels off. Bam! There it is, mocked up. Pretty cool. It's got a good stance. The customer likes it. Send him some pictures. So these wheels came off pretty easy. They were a quick release style. So this, like a detent, sits in there. You just push a button and it pops out, which is cool. This side here was flush in there. So I'm going to flip it. And there's a circlip that goes there. I'm going to cut it right about there on that sort of wear line. And it's going to go in that way. This is going to get capped, and it's going to get welded to there. This will also get dimple dyed with 5 holes, 1 in the center, 2, and then 2. I want it to be sort of decent size so they look cool. Not sure if I'm going to go all the way through or not. I might not. We'll see. So yeah, cap that, weld that, cut that off before I weld it, because I just make it difficult. Put those in there. Customer doesn't want these wheels, but I can use these tires and these bearings on some custom wheels I'm going to make for him. When I say I'm going to make them, the 3D printer over there behind that chair, he's going to make them, hopefully. 3D printing stuff is sort of scary, because you don't know if it's going to work, and it's going to be printing for hours and it could just fail miserably. What do you think? It's not too bad. I think I should do the other side though. What do you reckon? So it is slightly curved it. Very slightly. Dinted it. You can see little ripples along the top. If I do the other side, it'll probably exaggerate it. I'll just do this side. I made these a few videos back when I did the bomber seat for the Casa pedal car. Super easy to make if you have a lathe. You can make them without a lathe, but well, a lathe is much easier. And that's 3 bits, so 1, 2, 3 shanks separate. You can make this part in one piece, but then you're going to waste all this material. Anyway, back onto that. Look at that. It's just sitting there. But I'm happy with that. And the wheels are pretty straight. They're not quite lined up. The axle sort of skewed a bit, like that wheel is further back than this one, so I just got to line that up a little bit. Now I need to trim that bit of wood back a little bit. I'm going to bolt up a piece of steel under there, maybe a bit of angle. What is that noise? Noises, I don't like them. Maybe a bit of angle up under there and bolt it up, and then I'll have a hoop of thickish material to come along and bolt to here, with a rivet nut and then up under there. So I want this removable. As you can see here, I got some fake leaves made on each side, bolted there. And I got a piece under here, it's bolted to the chassis, and they're going to get welded. They're going to get welded. So to be removable, I'm undecided whether or not to weld that or put a bolt through it. Undecided yet. But that's as far as I'm going to go on the front end for now, just while these wheels print. Let's go have a look at them. I've been slowly learning how to use Blender. There we go. So I made this rim. Which is what the customer wants. It took me a couple of hours because I am a total Blender noob. That's what we got so far. Oh, what a mess. So a lot of that support material in the wheel itself is this part just here. And we got 29 hours remaining. There's now time to make some hubs for this. I couldn't buy them because the seller didn't know what ones fitted, which is fine because I can use this little chunk of 80mm aluminium to make some. And these bearings I've got lying around. So I'm going to liberate some of this, put it in the lathe, and turn it into a whole heap of little bits of aluminium. Check it out, it's bolted on there. I did it. I really don't like doing bolt patterns. I'll show you how I did it. So this is a 9.5mm drill bit, or just a bit smaller than 3/8. And these holes in here are 9.5, fits in there. Very little wiggle room in there. So I used this to get that position because this is a snug fit on the center. So the hub doesn't move around in the center. So I use this, get the drill, and do a little pilot. Well, when I say a little, it's like a little divot in there. I'll show you. And that gets me on my first one. I drill and tap that, bolt that, and then do the other two. There it is. So I'll take that to the drill press, drill it, tap it, bolt it back in here, then I can mark the other two holes and repeat. So I got this one drilled and tapped, the M8, my favourite bolt. Mate. M8. So I've got these, this bolted to the wheel, marked these two with the drill. Now I can drill and tap those. And it'll be done like this. Ta-da! Drilled, tapped, bolted up, see how it looks. And there we have it. Both of them bolted up, bearings are in. Now to make the axle to hold them all together. First, I need to cut the body to fit over these, and then I can get the exact position. Then make the axle. It's marked. It's hard to see. I'm using these Thermochrome markers. No affiliation, they're just really good and cheap. I chopped the wheel up. I just moved it because I'm an idiot. So I just went around like that. Super simple. Me and the customer don't want to get into this body line, so that's where it's gonna be. These little flared bits are going to be left behind, whereas the rest of it's going to be cut off. I think it'll look cool. It's up to the customer if he wants them to be removed or not. So let's get to cutting. There's the wheel arch cut. The customer and myself have decided that that is how far the tyres are going to stick out. Just under halfway. And that's the bolt. So I went and bought some. These are M10 by 65 with a dome head nut. That's what I'm going to be using. There's some washers in there to hide the bearings. So there's a washer behind that washer. So this washer has a gap, it's got clearance. And then in the back, also a washer. I'm going to weld these to these washers, and then weld those washers to that. Let's clean it up a little bit. And that will be the axle. And then all I have to do is figure out how to attach it up under there. Should be pretty simple. There's my axle assembly. Pretty good. Bolted in from the top. It's been real nice. It's been forever. Right, now to mount this sucker. So I've got some strips here. It's going to get mounted underneath and bolted up using these 2 bolts on either side. This one is going to be dual purpose. It's going to be mounted up underneath to these 4 bolts. This is also going to have the pusher hitch coming out, and then it'll be also attached to the axle. I'm going to use this stuff. I believe it's 25 2 a little bit, and that's going to pretty much just be a triangle from there to there. Let's get into it. Got my 4-link bars cut, pretty good. I love my bandsaw. I won't be able to show welding them in there because it's too tight. I'll show you when I'm done. And there they are, tucked into place. Nothing fancy, but it is on all 4s at the moment. That jack isn't actually doing anything. This still isn't bolted in, and the wheels are still printing. But that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. We'll get this one wrapped up in the next.